The cold email game has changed and it is not showing any signs of stopping. If you want to be able to compete and see actual results from cold email, then it's a non-negotiable to be aware of what's changing, because whatever used to work in the past is quickly becoming obsolete. But the businesses that are staying up to date with the changes and what's happening are absolutely crushing it. Take for example Mo Shelby that we interviewed recently. He got 100,000 positive replies in 2024. Or look at us, my team at OneAway. We just finished launching a campaign where we added over $7,000 in MRR from just one cold email campaign. And look, I know it can be really frustrating to try to figure these kind of things out all by yourself, reading 1,000 different articles, listening to 1,000 different influencers online. You don't know where the source of truth is. So in this one video that you're watching right now, I'm going to share with you everything you need to know about how cold email is changing so you can be on the cutting edge of the outbound game, sign new clients, increase your MRR, and grow your business with this amazing channel that is cold email. First things first is personalization with AI. Now look, I really believe that the usefulness of AI personalization is only going to keep going up in 2025. Now don't be mistaken, I'm not talking about personalization with company name or first name. That is very in the past. That doesn't work anymore. And I'm also not talking about extreme personalization like mentioning the lead's grandmother's name in the email. That's way too much. See, the thing is, if you use basic personalization like a job title or company name, then that screams that your lead list is not targeted enough. And that's going to make your cold email feel like it wasn't really written for that specific lead. It was written for anyone and everyone that you can scrape their name and company name, which in 2025 is the easiest thing to do. And then again, on the other side, if you use my grandmother's maiden name, or I don't know, what's another random fact, my shoe size for whatever reason in the email that you send me, that's just gonna make me feel uncomfortable and probably get a restraining order instead of replying to you. So where does that leave us? We need to find that sweet spot in between. That in between can be broken down in a couple different ways. It can be broken down in real-time social signals. So for example, funding rounds, or company just hired someone, or even a post that was made by the founder of the company that you're trying to prospect into. Those count as signals. And you're going to use these kind of signals to write hyper-targeted emails. Imagine this. You're an agency owner and you get an email that when you read it, it feels like this email was only sent to me. Why does it feel like this? Because it mentions something only specific to me. It does a really good job at mentioning my specific problems, my specific needs, my specific most recent social signal that I shared online. And this kind of personalization is what works and will continue to work, especially in 2025. You can do this by leveraging Instantly's intent data or using tools like Clay that uses an AI agent, which I will talk about more later in this video, to actually go and get very specific information about the lead so you can leverage in your cold outreach. For example, you can leverage Clay agent to scrape Google News to get relevant information about your lead. A really common one is a company just raised funding from a VC, or they just got acquired by a private equity firm. And then you can use those kind of signals to congratulate them or find your specific angle based on your service or product to do outreach to that said lead. Now let's talk a little bit more about AI agents. If you're watching this video, then there's a chance maybe you've heard of companies like 11x.ai or Clay. They're pioneering the whole AI agent movement. And at the moment, I realize there's a lot of stigma in that industry because people are still skeptical whether tools like 11x or the agents that you can use in Clay can fully write custom emails all by themselves, or if you can pick up the phone and talk to an AI agent and actually convert into a meeting book or a closed deal. And I get it. Right now, you're better off having a human work with the agent than letting the agent do all the work, but you'd be naive to assume that these agents aren't getting better day by day. Compare the results of these tools now versus 6 months ago, even 3 months ago. They're getting a lot better. And in the case of Clay, their agents can scrape so many websites, so many sources in real time, so you can leverage to create hyper custom and relevant emails. So you can actually take a lead list that you've built using either Instantly's lead finder or other lead gen tools, plug it into Clay, scrape the relevant data points that you need, and then map that data into custom prompts that will write out hyper-targeted cold emails. Once you're done that, you can then push those back into Instantly and launch the campaign. And fun fact for you, my team at OneAway happens to be both Instantly and Clay experts. So we've built a lot of these workflows inside of Clay and then pushed to Instantly. And that is actually how we managed to add the 7K MRR that I mentioned earlier in the video. And these AI agents like 11x or Clay are designed in a way to mimic human interactions and manage campaigns at scale. So as these new AI agents continue to improve and get better, it makes sense for you watching this video right now to at least stay in the loop of what's going on so you're not left behind and you're staying ahead of the curve. Now let's talk about going mobile, CRM integrations, and warmed up accounts. At this point, cold email softwares like Instantly are extending to the mobile market. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. When was the last time you saw someone walk on the street or go in the office without a phone in their hand or in their pocket? Long gone are the days where you need to have a computer with you in order to do business. A lot of business is conducted on your phone. You're literally going to be able to launch campaigns, reply to emails, close deals, talk to potential customers, all from your phone, even from a beach in Thailand. And fun fact, that's where I'm shooting this video right now. If we were to dig even deeper, the reason why it's so powerful, because speed to lead, really speed in general, is so important in this outbound game. So who's going to be faster? You having to rely on the computer, opening it up, making sure you have Wi-Fi, and then logging in to reply to an email from a lead? Or me, when I have a phone, I can just take it off of my pocket, I already have Signal, and I immediately reply to my lead. Who do you think is going to win? And in the same realm of convenience, these cold email systems aren't going to be separated from your CRM. What we're starting to notice more and more is that sales tools like Instantly are starting to either integrate with other CRMs or just build their own. The reason why this is so attractive to users is because now, instead of having to subscribe to so many different platforms, with Instantly, you're able to create a campaign, launch a campaign, and track your leads all within one platform. And while we're at that note, another thing to mention, softwares like Instantly are now moving towards having a done-for-you service for your inboxes. Instead of spending hours and hours buying domains, setting up inboxes, setting up DNS records, and then having to wait 14 days to be able to launch a campaign, you can now just buy pre-warmed up accounts in Instantly and launch a campaign on the same day. In general, everything moves towards convenience. But things like this, where you're able to set up campaigns, launch campaigns, track your leads, reply to leads, all from your phone, those are especially game changers for convenience. If you're interested in that kind of convenience, Instantly does everything I just mentioned. So there's going to be a link for you to try this out for free in the description. No credit card needed. Now let's talk about buying intent. Good news is buying intent is getting cheaper and cheaper. So small to medium-sized businesses can start taking advantage of it. Before, people weren't paying as much attention because the cost of buying intent was way too high. But now that's become more accessible and mainstream, you can send emails to leads who are already interested in what you have to offer, which of course will significantly improve your conversion rate. And in the same vein, localization and segmentation are also becoming mainstream. Instead of overthinking when to send emails, when to schedule emails, imagine your emails landing in your prospect's inbox at the perfect time and are written in their language. In the very, very near future, this is going to be an industry standard, and you'll be able to go international with your cold email. Now let's talk about omni-channel outreach. Another massive change to the way cold email operates is to introduce other channels alongside of it so you can have an omni-channel system. Because look, don't get me wrong, cold email is still the cheapest and easiest way to get results at scale. But combining other channels like LinkedIn DMs and cold calling alongside cold email, that's what's going to get you insane results. For example, you can have an automation that alerts you when you get an interested lead from your cold email campaign. And once you get that alert, you warm call them, and you can say something as simple as, "Hey Xavier, I saw you replied to my email. It looks like you're interested in ABC," and you go right into it. And because they already replied to you, they're familiar with you, they've shown intent, this will be the easiest, again, I like to say warm call you'll ever make in your life. The same thing goes with LinkedIn. Again, you get a positive email reply from your cold email campaign. You have an automation set up where you get alerted so you can send them a LinkedIn message. And this is going to significantly improve your conversion rate with your campaign because you're essentially increasing the surface area for your outbound. Okay, now let's talk about maximizing leads. Another thing we're noticing is a lot of these data providers are implementing verification and catch-all technologies to give users way more accurate data. Because the issue with most of these data providers is that they have a lot of problems like old emails that don't exist anymore, or fake misspelled emails, and just generally bad information. And this is one of the worst things you can have when you're building a cold email campaign, because bad, dirty data is going to affect your deliverability. So you can have the best written email in the world, you can have the most targeted lead list ever, but if the email data that you're relying on is not accurate and you're really just just wasting your time and you're putting your outbound system at risk. But what we're seeing now is lead verification tools and catch-all tech are helping you retain up to 40% more leads. And obviously that's great because you get to save more money, save more time, and just have better overall results. And last but not least, let's talk about Vanity Metrics. As cold email gets more sophisticated and becomes more accessible to the masses, open rates and reply rates don't matter as much anymore. Historically, everyone loves to flex these stats, but in reality, what matters is how many people from the campaign I've launched have signed the contract. And I hope that everything I showed you in this video is going to get you a lot closer to more contracts signed. So in this video, I mentioned how CRMs are being integrated into sales tools like instantly, but there's only so much I can talk about in one video. So click here to watch the next video where I show you how to connect a CRM with a cold email software tool so you can make sure all of your leads information is gathered in one place so you're able to close more deals and continue to grow your business. Okay, see you in the next video. Ciao.